Hey guys, hope you're having a good day. We are going to do a check-in and see what is going on. I actually kind of want to pull what's coming up for us is like what Spirit's kind of guiding me to. So the fact they're guiding me to ask what's coming up, I'm really curious about now. They've been guiding me to do readings a little bit more. I still haven't had like a ton of energy lately, but they've been guiding me to do like more readings and spirit messages online. So I'm just guessing more people need to see them. But I always tell people like follow all the links because sometimes I post it on Instagram, sometimes I post it on YouTube. Obviously the TikToks I do are totally separate than all of them. So I post on different platforms. So try to follow on all of them so you can get all the messages if you need them, obviously. The energy is really weird right now. I feel like a lot of us are in a very weird transition. We're kind of doing a review of kind of the past, some of the old energies coming up to clear, but some of it's also coming up to help us see things different. It feels like things are actually about to shift in a really good way, and what you want is actually coming for you fairly soon, within like the next few weeks from when you see this. It feels like fairly like current energy, and I don't normally say stuff like that because I don't like to hold on to time frames. Like we definitely shouldn't. We should just like naturally allow things to come in. But I'm being guided to say that. So definitely you would be able to feel it. You'd be able to feel the shifts, and just, it would be like this internal thing that I say and it would resonate with you. Like you already would be able to feel this. This would just be validation, not me telling you this. But yeah, there's a lot of like shifts and things taking place. I did a video on YouTube yesterday, like a pick-up pile yesterday, and there's kind of two different groups that I picked for. So if you go watch that, you can kind of see which group you're actually in and what's kind of going on for you with everything, because obviously everybody's in like different paths and different cycles. And when you see this, it could be right after I recorded. Some of you, it might be like 6 months to a year later. Some of you, it could be 2 or 3 years later. Yeah, the message is still for you. It always is still for you, even, you know, if it's set at a later time. And I'll feel like I want to share this. So a few years ago, I recorded a video journal, which I do like this. I'll record stuff in my phone and I will like process my feelings. I like to like talk to myself and kind of process it. And for me, it's like easier to look at myself. It makes me feel very seen and very heard and helps me kind of heal stuff. So it's my preference to do it. I'm a verbal communicator, if you guys can't tell. So I can write shit down, but I'd rather speak it. It helps me release it and helps me kind of process. But anyway, I did something, it was almost 3 years ago, and I thought I was recording this video for somebody else. So funny enough, in the video, I was talking about my feelings and all this kind of shit going on. And literally I said, I have a feeling you're going to need to watch this video in like 6 months from now. So 6 months goes by. Obviously I'm not thinking about the video. Like it is what it is. You know, shit had happened. I'd actually stopped talking to that person at that. I talk to them now, but I stopped talking to that person at that time. And, like something's like having me go look for a picture in my phone, and I'm scrolling and I stop at the video and something just like, you know, pulls me to watch it. And I start watching it and I start like almost like shocked energy and just kind of like, what the fuck? And like kind of not, I don't remember if I cried. I don't remember exactly what happened. I just remember it being very like realizing divine timing is a true thing, and like realizing it. I've always realized it more and more and more, but like this really made me see it in a different way and see things in a different way. And I watched the video and I'm just like, when did I record this? And I go, fucking 6 months ago. I go, oh my God, I was recording a message to myself 6 months earlier that I just spiritually, intuitively knew I was going to need, that I thought I was recording for somebody else. And the way I said it was like, you're going to need to watch this in 6 months, but it was about somebody else. So I obviously in my head, I thought, oh, this is for them. Like, why would I need it, you know? And then I watch it, I go, oh my God. And funny enough, what it was is I was having a lot of doubts about this situation at that time. And it was like something I recorded to myself. So in 6 months in the future, like when I saw it, I would like, it would give me that faith that I needed. So it was really interesting. I feel like there's a reason they're wanting me to talk about divine timing with you guys. Like some of you guys maybe are struggling with it, or you're kind of losing faith, or you don't really understand what divine timing is. And they're kind of saying like, explain it a little bit. So, you know, as humans, we all want things we want when we want them. A lot of times when we're feeling the need to have it now, it's because we're trying to control things. A lot of times it means we feel out of control. We're not really in acceptance and surrendering. We're feeling very unsafe. We're feeling very uncomfortable with something, where we're feeling like we need it so we can avoid certain emotions or certain feelings that we have now. We think if this comes for us, then we're no longer going to feel this anxiety. We're no longer going to have this mistrust. We're no longer going to have certain emotions and feelings, but we're still going to have those. If you don't deal with it now, whenever something does come, those feelings and emotions are still going to be there. They're just going to present in a different way. So what happens is, a lot of times the way the divine works, not always, but a lot of times, is you'll have an idea or you'll have something you desire. This is why I don't believe in manifestation, okay? I'll explain it. And I just saw the word manifestation as I said that, so how funny. You can manifest some things, but this is my personal feeling on this and kind of what I've channeled and my belief and what I know. Is something comes to you as a thought, an idea, something that inspires you, something you desire. It's usually a really strong pulling. It can be a relationship. It can be a desire to start a family. It could be a specific person. It could be a specific situation, a certain type of job or career field, whatever it is. It will most likely be multiple things throughout your life, okay? But there's usually 2 or 3 that I'm aware of, very significant ones that will happen throughout your life. It's because it's a part of your soul purpose. So basically what happens is that part gets activated. Spirit will activate it in some way, and it gets activated, and now you want this so bad. So what happens is now you're on the spiritual path where this came up and you want it so bad because your soul is literally magnetically pulling toward it because you know this is a part of your purpose. It's part of your path. It was already chosen before you came here. You already chose this, right? Now you are releasing everything that stands in the way of this being something truly successful and great. Every thought you have, every conditioning you have, every fear, every blockage, every self-sabotage, everything, any and everything that fucks with that being 100% solid, any old coping skills, any old perceptions, anything like that. And what happens is you go through this period of time where you're healing all of these things, and you're still being called and drawn to this because it's what your soul desires. Like, it is a part of your soul, right? It is what you desire. It is what you want. And that's why you feel it. And that's why you keep staying on the path. Things that aren't part of your path, like you'll get excited about them and they go away. Get excited and they go away. And you could give 2 fucks. You're like, oh, remember that one idea I had? Whatever. And it goes away and you just don't care. Whereas like a soul calling towards something, you will just keep wanting it. Like, no matter how hard it gets, no matter what happens, you're still going to persevere. You're still going to move forward. You're going to still work toward it. And that's why, for me, I don't believe in manifestation. For me, it's, you're not manifesting it. The soul like clicks it on and it awakens and activates it essentially. And then now your soul is guiding you and your spirit team and everybody's guiding you to actually get to the end point for it to be solid and a good thing, a healthy thing, something that is sustainable, something that is life, long. Most of the time it's something that you will bring throughout the rest of your life. Soul relationships are very much like that, where you will uncover and unpack all this trauma and all this repressed shit and all this stuff where if you're in a relationship with this person now, you would sabotage it, you'd run away, you push it away, you would not be able to accept the love, you would not be able to, a lot of people don't love themselves, or there's other underlying things, abandonment wounds and intimacy issues and shit like that, where you'll push it away without even knowing you'll do it. And so what happens is now you're working through all of these triggers and all of these fears and all these suppressed things and unconscious things, so you can be so healthy, so you can actually accept the love, so you can show up the way you need to, so you can not project all your shit on this other person, so you can have the coping skills you need, so you can have that solid foundation, so you can have the trust, the communication, all the things you need, the healthy things you need for a good relationship, and you can have that stability and stuff. But a lot of times it starts with you and getting that within yourself so you can actually have that. So a lot of times with soul relationships, you'll meet them, you'll feel the strong ass connection with them, and there will be a disconnect. There's not usually like cheating. There's not usually like trauma there. There's sometimes like some fucked up situations, but there's always a general energy. Intuitively, you'll feel it, not what you tell yourself. Intuitively, you'll feel it. There's always this underlying unconditional love, unconditional acceptance for this person. And you know, it's this soul energy. A lot of times you'll feel the soul energy before the human emotions will kind of catch up with it. And you will be guided to this person. Spirit will keep guiding you. Even when it's hard or something's going on, you will always just be pulled to this person, and not in a healthy, toxic way. And with this person, you will naturally heal. You'll usually, the feminine will energetically heal something, and then the masculine will naturally do it. There doesn't even need to be conversation. It's a natural energetic thing. And there's just this love energy that is just indescribable in human logical mind. And that's not just with, you know, love situations, it's also with passions and things like that. But the divine timing part of that is you have to go through these experiences to heal these soul things to come together, so it's it sticks around, it's stable, it's solid, it's lifelong, it's something you can build and grow with. And a lot of times the soul relationships, they build together and they send out this love and they help other people heal. And part of their, you know, purpose is them being together to help other people and to create together and to bring change together. So they have to be really solid to be able to get to that place where they can have a healthy partnership, where they can have a healthy friendship and healthy love and things like that. So sometimes it can take years for that to happen. But the divine timing part of it is it will all happen as it's supposed to happen. And as much as you want it to happen sooner than you want it to, it means there's still things that you're learning and you're healing. When you get to that full place of acceptance and surrender, that you're just trusting, like, I know that we're not together for a reason. It's because there's other things I'm healing and learning and growing, and the other person is too. You realize things are you and them. It's not just the other person not doing it. It's you also having that mirrored shadow, that mirrored energy as well. So as soon as it's the right time, it will naturally just happen. You don't even have to do anything. It will just be this energy and this natural progression that happens. And that's divine timing with everything. When you work through the lessons and you work through the different things, it will happen. Like for me, I've been talking about, like, I've had the crystal store for 2 years, like in person, the small store, and I've been talking about a bigger store for 2 years. Since I moved in there, I'm like, I want a bigger store, I want a bigger store. And I just keep wanting a bigger store. And it's because I had to work through a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things I've had to work through. And it's because it has a bigger purpose. There's going to be a community center there. There's going to be this Zen garden there. There's a lot of ideas and things that have come up, but also me needing to understand what it looks like to actually have people work for me, to actually be able to trust in other people, what I want the business to look like, what I actually want the intention to be. Because as much as I love crystals and I want to sell them, I want it to be a healing place. I want people to go there and feel like good and feel safe and have like a Zen thing. And one of the things like I want to do in the garden area is have like trees with like oranges and bananas, and I haven't really looked any other ones up, but like fruits, so people who are homeless or who don't have food can go pick them and have stuff to eat. And so it's going to be this really giant like project essentially, that as much as I want the bigger store now, I'm being patient because I realize I'm also healing a lot of things, and I'm healing my own blockages and my own belief systems and the way I would manage the business and all of these other things, and need to work with other people and what I can do versus what I would be comfortable hiring somebody to do, and all of these other aspects. So it's like I'm being patient and trusting the process, and it will naturally happen. As soon as it's ready to happen, Spirit will pop the message like they did for me 2 years ago when I had the crystal store. Pop the message for me. Like, I didn't look out for any of those things, guys. Like, I had said I wanted to open a crystal store years and years ago, like a spiritual place, years and years ago. Totally forgot I even asked about it. And then boom, it just pops in my head one day. I never had intentions of doing, I love doing readings. I'm going to just say that I actually very thoroughly enjoy doing readings, but I never had the intention to do readings. Like, I always was like, I want to be a therapist and help people heal. And I didn't realize, you know, it was going to come in a roundabout way. And I would do like cards and stuff for people, or I'd go into like spiritual groups and just do stuff for free because I just enjoyed doing it and helping people. And then Spirit was like, do readings for the page. And it was a weird shift for me, but I never went and sought it out. You don't need to seek anything. It will naturally always align with you. When you get into alignment, it will always align. You don't need to control anything. You don't need to manifest anything. It will just naturally happen and open up. So it's the same with the crystal store. Whenever that bigger opportunity opens itself, like I'm in preparation mode. That's what I like to call the period of time, is preparation mode. You're preparing and releasing all the things that are blocked and stuck to prepare for what you actually desire and what you actually want. That's part of your purpose. So for me, I know it's going to be like this giant project and all these things. So I'm in preparation mode. And as soon as it's ready, like, I don't even need to go look for shit. Like, you know, we all think we need to go look for stuff and go and do all these things to prove shit. No, you fucking don't. All you need to do is whatever feels right for you in the moment. That's it. And as soon as it's ready, Spirit will either have somebody come out to my fucking shop. They'll be like, hey, go look over here. Hey, go drive this way. Go do this. And I'll feel it. And I'll know exactly what it is when it's supposed to be there. And I'll feel the excitement. I'll feel the fear. And I'll feel all the other shit. And then they'll be like, get your ass doing it, bitch. Like, you know you want to do this. Stop being afraid. That's literally the way it works. And I promise you, nothing you want will ever pass you. And anything you keep being pulled to in like a good way. I don't mean the unhealthy, toxic shit. I mean stuff you're actually drawn to and pulled to, not stuff you're clinging to. There's a difference between clinging to something because you're scared of losing it and letting go of it because it's a trauma bond and shit like that, versus something it keeps magnetically pulling you. Okay, totally fucking different. But like that's what divine timing is. Like, it will happen whenever you're ready for it. All right, let's pull some cards and say. So I didn't ask a question. This is just kind of what's coming out, and then I'll ask what's coming for the future stuff. Oh, damn, we got the Love Begins card. We got that in the TikTok yesterday too, and we got the Harmony on the bottom. I feel like so many relationships, or like soul relationships, are coming together in the next few months. Like, really just... Yesterday, I was at the shop and Spirit was like, do a TikTok, and it was almost like this, like, whoosh, energy. So I was like, all right. And I actually use the Psychic Tarot. I have one of them at the shop too, and this deck. And yeah, I was like, oh, I'm excited to see what this is, because they're like pulling me, and we got like the Love Begins card, we got the Spiritual Union card, and I was like, this definitely feels like some soul, like some twin souls coming together. And yes, I believe in that. I don't believe in twin flames, like the spiritual community word. Spirit showed me twin souls and what they actually are. It's not exactly like the spiritual community online, so I'd say don't really listen to that. Trust your intuition. You'll know. Like, when you meet them, you would know anyway. It's not a trauma bond thing. It's totally different, and it will feel totally different. And I don't even want to explain it. If you have it, you already know you have it. So, okay, we got mental conflict and harmony. It almost feels like this back and forth energy where it's like, I feel this love, I feel this excitement. It might have to do with a person. Honestly, it feels like it has to do with a relationship, but it could also be something else. I'm just going to say it how it's coming in as a relationship. But like I said, it can apply to something else too, if the energy matches. It feels like this, like all this love energy comes in, and then it's like all these fears. All this love energy comes in, and I'm definitely seeing some masculine energy with this. And then all these fears, and it's like, I want to move forward, but then like blah, 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 blah. I want to move forward, then blah, blah, blah. You're releasing, like what you're doing is you're pulling all that trauma up, you're pulling all the conditioning, you're pulling all the fears, the belief systems, and all that shit, and you're releasing it. And you're feeling that love energy because it's pulling you toward that person, because you know it's actually what you genuinely want. As scared of it as you are, you actually really want it. So it definitely feels like this back and forth energy in your mind where it's like, is it going to happen? Is it not? Does this person care or do they not? And it's just this very like back and forth energy. And I'm just going to say this. You can intuitively feel it, okay? When you have a soul connection like that, you will intuitively feel it. Even if you're not in touch with your intuition, or you are not in touch with your spiritual gifts and stuff like that, like you'll feel that love. You'll feel that softness. You'll feel that connection. It will just feel very pure. You'll feel like you can be yourself truly. It just, you can feel them too. You know, even if the behaviors aren't really there, you can actually feel the connection with them, even if you're not around them. A lot of times you'll telepathically communicate, and your thoughts will kind of mirror each other and stuff. Okay, we got disruption, emotional withdrawal, awareness. I'm definitely getting masculine energy with this. So I'm going to read it like this. I wasn't trying to pull that way, but I guess that's what we're getting. Damn, they're saying like shift with the masculine in like a good way, like an empowered way. It feels like they're kind of feeling stuck. right now, and they're trying to reflect. It feels like mentally they're kind of stuck, and they're trying to reflect and understand why they're stuck, like why they can't move forward with something. It feels like they're trying to move forward with something and they're stuck and they can't move forward with it. But it feels like in that stuckness, they're gaining some type of clarity or awareness of what they actually want. It almost feels like they've maybe been lying to themselves or hiding from their truth of what they want. And the word vulnerability comes to me, where it almost feels like this fear of like putting their wall down and being vulnerable even with themselves, like where they struggle to actually acknowledge what they truly want. Like it feels like primarily what they've done is kind of sit in this fear energy, and this like complacent energy of just staying still and not really making changes in their life because they were like comfortable there. And the more they align with who they actually are and they're opening themselves and they're starting to like love themselves, the more they can't sit there. So they kind of feel stuck because they're like, not sure I'm ready to leave the past in the past, but I can't be here anymore. And what's happening is, as they're going through this and they're taking this time to kind of sit with what is this, like why does this keep coming up? Maybe somebody or something just keeps coming up in their head and they're like, why? Like, I don't understand this. They're actually seeing what they really want that they've been kind of lying to themselves about. Like, they know they want it, they know they have wanted it, but they've been kind of like lying to themselves about it. And it feels like they're getting awareness to it, and they're going deeper and seeing like what their fears are, and like these like spirits saying like illusions, like things they've told themselves, lies they've told themselves, like what they wanted or needed that was like superficial or stupid, that like they know like, okay, this is dumb, like why did I say or think this, like this is really not true. And realizing they were actually sabotaging. They felt like they didn't deserve happiness, they felt like they didn't deserve like good relationships, like good businesses or good jobs and stuff like that. And now they're like, no, I deserve this. They're seeing where some of that self-worth kind of was coming from. And they're like, I deserve this. I deserve better. And they're kind of planning it out and figuring out what to do. So it feels like they're kind of in this like planning phase right now. And they're just like, they're getting so much more clarity and like awareness to like truly what they actually want, and like to like truly to what is important to them and the people that are important to them, like the things that actually matter. And not looking at so much of like that conditioning, like immature energy, like they were using, like the shit that they were told, like this is what men should do or how they should act or how they should be, or even their parents, like the way they were raised and how they saw relationships. And they're actually like healing that and able to see things from a different perspective. They just feel like they're kind of in the middle of it. Like they have the awareness, they're just not totally sure the steps they need to take, and they're trying to figure it out, but just like it will smooth out, guys. Like the thoughts will smooth out, the plan will smooth out, like spirit's guiding it. So you're probably just releasing and you're just gaining the awareness you need. And as you just make different choices with the new awareness, then it's going to just shift. It will just naturally like shift. And it feels like one day it's just going to shift and they're going to step up and they're going to walk away from the old and they're like, I'm done with this. Like they will just have no tolerance for it anymore. They're like, I'm done. And it feels like pretty soon. It feels like the next, like, I keep getting 2-3 weeks for some, 2-3 months though. The masculine thing feels more so like 2 or 3 months. So 2 or 3 months from when you're seeing this. I'm recording this August, so September, October, November-ish maybe, October, December-ish. Okay. This feels like the feminine energy, so really interesting. A little bit of masculine in this, but this feels like the feminine energy. It feels like, and I love this with the femmes, we got the rainbows, like 2 of the rainbows. So rainbows might be significant to you. Rainbows are significant to me because my middle name is Iris, which is the goddess of rainbows. And I love rainbows. I love anything rainbowy, shiny. Like when you see me picking crystals, I'm like, oh, there's tons of rainbows in it. I don't even give a fuck what the crystal looks like. If it has rainbows, it is like for me. Probably why Lab is my favorite. I love Labradorite. It's like my favorite crystal. Like you cannot get enough of it. Anyway, for the feminines, it feels like she is actually like looking truly at her desires and like what she really wants. what's interesting is it feels like she went through what the masculine's going through now recently. It feels like he's a little bit behind, but they're close enough. Like they're really close to where they're both, you know, whatever. And it feels like she already went through this where she was trying to figure out what is it that I want in her hidden kind of desires of what she wanted. And now she's able to see it. And she's like manifesting it, like not manifesting it, but like in her mind, she's actually visually seeing it or picturing it or like wanting to feel how does it look and what does it look like? For some, it is definitely a family and love. And it feels like she's kind of coming into her feminine energy and just coming from a place of like love for herself and love for other people. And just, I'm just getting like nurturing emotional energy. And she's really just standing in her power and becoming the true feminine that she is, which is bringing this in like really fast. It's bringing it in like faster than she maybe even realizes it's going to come in. So okay. What's coming for us? What's coming? Ooh, this just came out. All right, we got family on the bottom. Guys, this shit keeps coming out. I'm telling you. Ooh, I'm so dizzy right now. Hold on. Jesus Christ. These shifts are like literally driving me mental. We got family and commitment. These two cards keep coming out. Like the family and the commitment card keep coming out. But like the family card especially, like the kids and family keeps coming out. What I'm getting is a lot of you guys are learning how to commit to things you actually want and learning how to be patient with it. Like not needing instant gratification, like realizing that just because things are taking a while, this feels like the divine timing thing I was talking about earlier. Just because things are taking a while does not mean that it's not happening for you. And a lot of you guys are like committing to yourself and making that choice. Like, I'm going to keep working toward what I want. Even if I'm afraid, I'm going to keep fucking moving forward and toward what I want. And it's going to bring you what you want. For some of you, it definitely feels like a family, a relationship, and kids. And for some of you, it also feels like a rebirth. Like you're going to have this new transition where the way you live is going to be completely different in such a good way. You're going to be living in a way of like honoring your truth and who you are before all of you, like your conditioning. And a lot of you guys feel like you're healing family trauma and you're helping end generational cycles within your family, which I will fucking tell you, it is not easy at all. And I had a conversation with somebody a few weeks ago about this. And I said, girl, I go through the same shit. So I feel you on this. Is like, when you look at your family, they're usually, if you have this and you are a family fucking like cycle breaker, they're almost all toxic. Like your fucking parents, your siblings, like a lot of your, you know, immediate family, they're all kind of like toxic the way that they do things. And it's not to shit talk anybody, but it's just truth. And the way they do things and the trauma and conditioning and just all the, like the lack of awareness and all that shit, like they're not supposed, if they're not supposed to be awake in this life, they're not supposed to be awakened. It is what it is. But what happens is you have all these people around you acting one way because they're a family unit and they all act that way. And you're like the fucking black sheep and you're like, am I just crazy? Because all these people act like that. And I was talking to her and she was saying that to me. She's like, I have to be the fucked up one because like my grandparents are like this, my siblings are like this, both of my parents, both sides of the family are like this. Like I can't be the only normal one. And I go, but you are. And that's the whole fucking thing. And a lot of times you will feel crazy. You'll feel like, is there something wrong with me? Like I'm the only one who thinks like this and acts like this in the family. It's because you have self-awareness and you're meant to heal things and you're going to help other people with it too. So that's part of what it is. But like, as you go through it, you definitely question your sanity because you're just like, am I really the only one who actually like is doing this? And yeah, some of you are, and it's going to help you when you have your own family to not have those same traumas and those same conditionings and the same shit coming up. Okay, we got the honoring path, back and forth, the loving woman. Oh God, I got this like fucking energy in my arm. It's driving me mental. It's like so heavy. And it feels so still. Like usually when this is like this, it's like Lumerian energy coming in, like, because it's so intense compared to like my normal energy. And a lot of times it comes in really heavy in my left arm. And then it feels still as fuck in my house and the energy just shifts. And I'm like, ugh, it's like so uncomfortable. It just feels, like heavy, not bad, heavy. So with the honoring path, it feels like you guys are like taking steps forward to your soul path and your soul purpose. It feels like mentally you're kind of going back and forth a little, but you're trying to, more so it feels like you're trying to figure things out and like really like tweak what you want, or really kind of get to intentions of it and like what you actually desire. And like, it doesn't feel like you're behaviorally going back and forth. It more so feels like this mental thing of like you thinking about it and then kind of going backwards, and thinking about it kind of going backwards, like to old and new. But what I'm getting from spirit is you're actually moving forward. You're just seeing things from a different perspective, and it's helping to bring you to a place of actually receiving. And I love that we got the loving woman. It's bringing you to a place of actually receiving, so you can open yourself up to actually receive it when it comes in. That is awesome. Okay, we're gonna pull from the fairies. That's the card that came out on the TikTok. Just those two. That's the card that came out on the TikTok, the same exact one. So yeah, we got life energy. The happy fairy of sunshine brings lots of life-giving energy. She reminds you to shine your light and to reveal anything in the shadows that needs to be healed. And then you got lost and found. What was once lost is about to be found. Thanks to the lost and found fairy. Sometimes she can help us find things that we never realized were lost. It feels like this feels like the light and the shadow energy, which a lot of you guys are integrating. You just don't realize you are. And it feels like some of you guys have lost like your excitement for life, your passion, like things that you actually desire. Like a lot of like laying around energy, a lot of healing, a lot of shadow work, a lot of like trauma work. And it's just like, I don't feel like myself, which I'm in this too. It's like, I don't feel like myself. I'm like, I feel like lazy. I'm like, I don't have energy for shit. I just don't want to do anything. Like I do want to do stuff like at a mental level, but physically I'm just so exhausted and I just don't have motivation or energy or excitement. And it feels like you're going to find that again, but in a healthy new way, where you're not doing it from a place of conditioning or from a place of, I need to be doing something so I don't feel like, I don't have a purpose, or so I don't feel like I'm just like being like lazy in my life or all this stuff, because you're going through a really long like healing cycle to actually bring you forward to what you want and what you desire. And like, that's why you've been in that for so long, but you're gonna have the energy that's gonna come back. Remember how you felt when something new came in? You had so much energy. You're like, how the fuck did I even have energy and time to do this? You're gonna have that come back again. A lot of you are healing all this stuff and you're preparing, and you're kind of in this like dormant, like just chill ass mode. And you're going to be so busy and have so much stuff going on. So you're really like healing this and sustaining your energy, and learning also how to sustain your energy when you are busy, to remind you to self-care, to remind you that you need to relax and rest and do that just as much as you think you need to like, okay, we're going to pull that card. As much as you think you need to like rush and do things, like you're healing and you're growing, and that's why. And no, it's not always exciting, and sometimes it's scary and it's uncomfortable, but you're growing through that, and it's going to actually bring you to that true excitement, where you're going to feel that, where you're going to appreciate that, where you're going to feel grateful for who you are and what you love about yourself and things you miss about yourself too. We got fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. It is said that seeing is believing, but in fact, the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. Oh my God, I just got the coolest message. All right, let me figure out if I can say it in words. Because sometimes when it comes in, I can't verbally communicate it. Okay, so a lot of you guys, let me figure out how to say this, is like, in order for something to be true, you feel like you have to physically see it in your reality. And a lot of you guys are learning the magic, true magic of life, that you can see it like in your third eye, and you can envision it. And then it's going to manifest outward, like it's going to show up physically, like in the physical outward. But it's like you have to believe it internally for it to externally appear, is almost what it feels like. So it feels like some of the blockages and the conditioning and the trauma and stuff, like as it's being released, you're feeling it and seeing it more and more and more. And as it grows closer, you're feeling it more and more and more, and you're feeling the newness and you're feeling the excitement of it coming in, which is why you're feeling it so strong now, because it's coming in. And it's like you're going to see it once you actually, you're going to see it in your third eye, in your visions and in your dreams, and what you actually desire and want. And then it's going to show up in the physical. I love that. Okay. We got tree agate. Are you a tree hugger or activist? Take the time. I'm a tree hugger. You know what, guys? I haven't even fucking hugged trees in forever. I miss actually hugging trees, but I don't have the desire to go outside and touch them and hug them like I used to. But I'm excited for when that comes back. Take the time to sit beneath the tree and connect with the quality of its firmly planted roots, its ability to flex and bend in the storm, and its amazing power of growth. Remember your roots, yet always remember how much you can grow to reach great heights. I feel like that's so literal. It's not even funny. Like, you're growing and like remembering who you are and what you actually want and like the things that are actually important to you, and realizing that you have the capability to grow even more than you realize. Like, it feels like a lot of people have held themselves back out of fear, thinking like they had to keep themselves small. And that was actually what the fairy card was saying too. I forgot to say that message, is like keeping yourself small, or like dulling your light, or like not showing your personality, or like not doing the things you want. And like, you're starting to shine your fucking light and be like, yes, 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 this is who I am. And it's like, then you're seeing like you have so much potential to grow. Whereas before, like, you were terrified. And the thought that just came up for me is, you know, I used to be scared to talk about stuff and be vulnerable. And then I started sharing, you know, trauma and personal things on here. And then I was scared for people to see me. And then, you know, I started doing fucking readings and videos, and Spirit had showed me a vision of me like probably 2 or 3 years ago talking on stage in front of people, and I was like, y'all are fucking hysterical. That is funny. Hell no, I will never do that. And then, like, you know, I recently, like a few months ago, wanted to start doing the podcast. I did my first podcast, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. And lately I've been having this idea, like, I want to go and do like readings and like helping people and feeling their energy and teaching people that stuff in like audiences. And like doing, there's another one that came, but I'm being guided not to talk about that right now, but like another idea that they don't want me to talk about right now. But like things that I never thought I would ever want to do or do. And like, I keep, as I grow, I keep opening up to stuff like that more. I'm a very shy person, and I actually don't like being center of attention. So the idea of thinking about talking in front of people scares the fuck out of me. But like, knowing that I can reach a lot of people and help a lot of people excites me. Knowing that like I can help people to trust in themselves and like see the truth of things, like, excites me, which is part of your purpose. That's why it excites you. Okay. Dolomite. This crystal, I do not like this crystal. Just the energy is so weird. It's not bad. I just don't like it. Have you wanted to do something creative? Are you feeling artistic? Let your inspiration flow and generate your insight into hold on. Oh my God, I'm such a dumbass the way I read that. Let your inspiration flow and generate your insight into manifest reality. Nah, I'm not an idiot. The way the hell that's worded is stupid. Let your inspiration flow and generate your insight into manifest reality. Okay, I did not say that wrong. That's the way it said. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a nice meal, a pretty garden, amazing photograph, or some sewing project. Regardless, now is the time to produce it. It will bring you fulfillment and purpose. I feel like, is that not what we have been talking about? It's going to come for the people who are not in this energy right now. It's going to come for you once you're out of this like deeper healing cycle. It's going to come for you. And it feels like the ideas have already started kind of flowing in. They're just maybe not concrete right now. But wait until you feel ready to do it. Like, don't force yourself to do it because shit online tells you to. You'll naturally feel when it's ready to open up and you're ready to do it. It will just kind of flow for you and stuff. But it definitely feels like that is what is manifesting right now. Like, that is what is coming right now. And you're working toward that, to being able to actually create from your soul energy, not from that human stuff that we normally create from our actual soul energy. Because we're going to have the soul clarity. We're going to have that soul inspiration, and we're going to be connected to that versus like our ego. We're not gonna be connected as much to our ego, where the fear and all that shit gets in the way. We're gonna be connected to our soul, where the creativity is just gonna flow. The passions are just gonna flow, where you're just gonna naturally wanna do stuff because it's part of your purpose, and you're just gonna feel this passion and drive and excitement. So I love this. I think this is freaking great. I feel like we might have a little bit more to go with some of the heaviness, and depending on where you are, because you might not be in the cycle that I'm talking about right now, that might come for you later on. But wherever you are, you're exactly where you need to be, and just trust that. But I am definitely very excited because I feel like there's a huge collective shift, and it feels like it's going to be so awesome and so magical. So I hope that this helps and gives you guys some inspiration and some hope and positivity. So hope you guys all have an awesome day.